Surf Monkey Coconut. Just wanted to make a really quick video about a special package that I got today from a talented knife designer named Jason Brous. A lot of you may already know him. He's up and coming, and he's really ramping it up for getting out new production knives and whatnot about them. This is kind of a sign of where he's going with these. These are still really custom knives. These are his Silent Soldier line, but he's getting this packaging together. He's really gearing up to become a larger company than he is now, although he is still, killing it the way he is, doing things, and, for good reason. Just want to say, I found him, about 2.5 years ago, just kind of searching Google. I think I was searching custom knives or custom knife design. I was just getting into the knife market. But to me, even back then, a $100 knife was more than I was willing to spend. But obviously, I kind of got over that hump because, now I carry a paramilitary too. Along with a bunch of other pretty high-end knives. I also have a Hogue EX01 that I really like just because it's like a really thick blade. But back then, I was really used to just using an X-Acto matte knife, which is really efficient at cutting things. It basically is a razor blade, cutting paper and cardboard, should I say. And this I'd use for building models and doing finer work with chipboard or other types of E-flute type cardboard or even paper. But where this fails is, anything thicker than that. And what this cannot do, obviously the higher end knives can. And, there's other knives out there that you don't have to spend $100 on. You can find a $20 pocket knife and it'll do the same thing if you get it really sharp. Just things like, luxuries like a good metal that will hold its edge better, all that kind of good stuff. But then you get into a different category of knives where this is a production knives, mostly built by machines, and obviously, I think most knives are always touched by a human hand. Obviously, assembly, but also grinding the edge and all that good stuff. And then for maintenance, you yourself have to maintain the edge of your knife to keep it sharp. But then you're getting onto a different plane of knives later on, and these are the first custom knives that I've ever laid my hands on, and I was so very impressed with them. Start off first, I ordered the Silent Soldier from him just because I wanted it. On his YouTube channel, on Brous Blades, he released a clearance video sale, and he just kind of put them 50% off, and on the higher ticket type items, they're even more than 50% off their retail price. And this knife is number 14, and this knife is number 19. And after I ordered the blades, he let me know via email that this one was actually featured in Tactical Knives magazine, July 2012 on page 30. So, when he told me that, I was just like, pretty blown away by the fact that, I was going to get one of his knives that were actually featured in a magazine. I'm thinking that he meant that this one-off knife was actually in there. So I thought that was just really special. But beyond that, what really struck me when I opened it was just the ridiculous cleanness of this knife. The grinds are just so ridiculously well machined. And I would expect that this would be the case for most custom knives, although I know that things aren't always equal. And I can only imagine that Jason's just really at the top of his game for, creating these. This is like the fiercest Wharncliffe I've ever seen, first of all. And I know this camera doesn't do macros at all, so we're not really catching the true essence of this knife. But, just kind of looking at this back swedge is just ridiculously sharp. I almost thought this was a sharpened edge, and it kind of is. Could be sharper with a secondary bevel on it, but it's really not only a nice visual piece, but it's actually really well machined and very well performed. In terms of its production, it's really well produced. And just his talents and skills in creating this knife was astronomical out there. There's a little groove here, as well as some jimping that kind of fades out as you get further back. Is really cool, and as well as the ergonomics of the knife, everything just kind of fits your hand perfectly. Make sure you put your thumb right on that jimping, because of his natural, you can do that four-finger grip. It's kind of like the alien kitchen knife. But what strikes me about this is his knives are really avant-garde, but to me it's still grounded in earthly values, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. In college, I was really a fan of the Metal Gear Solid games on PlayStation. And this knife, in of itself, kind of reminds me of Raiden, the character Raiden. Especially in the second Metal Gear Solid, where you had Old Snake and Raiden was kind of chopping up those gecko machines that were invading the cities and all that good stuff. So this really reminds me of like a blade that Raiden might carry, just because of its length. In terms of blade sizes, here's a paramilitary too. Is this, the handles are about the same size, almost, but the blade length is just ridiculously longer. So I'm just really impressed with that one. Is this really cool? And number 19 is a semi-production knife, kind of similar to the Silent Soldier, but is this a lot less than the Silent Soldier. I think he said he produced about 20 of these. So, far more rare than Silent Soldier, and it's only $99 on that clearance video, and this one is $89, but this is all the more special just because it's, rarer, as well as the fact that I think it's supposed to be a $200 retail. So it has a really nice golden Cerakote, kind of a bronze Cerakote. It has that sparkly metallic. Finger grooves, again, match up perfectly, with your pinky, two fingers, and your front finger, as well as your thumb. This is a really cool knife, too. It's kind of like a upswept Wharncliffe, and it's really neat. So I think this one's a little less than a 1/4 inch. This is about a 3/16 inch thick. So this smaller knife is actually thicker than the alien kitchen knife. I gotta figure out the names for these. I'm sure he has names for them. I just don't know them offhand. But there's a nice logo there. It says Brous Blades, and again, I know this camera doesn't catch that detail. Carbon fiber inlays. This one has a Brous logo there, as well as on the back side there's a different font. So it's really cool, and I haven't even got to the Silent Soldier opening this yet. I'm gonna have to probably do that off camera, but this packages always are kind of a bane to open. But it's really cool. This stonewash is cool. The design of this thing, especially with this new choil coming down, love it. This Kydex looks perfect. So what else can I say? I just want to make this a shorter video. I know that I'm probably over, I don't know, 5 minutes now, but just really excited to get these. Just wanted to thank Jason for sending them so quickly, and really appreciate the quality that you put into this. So if anyone's interested, head down to Jason's channel. You can still pick this one up. There's 2 other blades out there. I think they're over $350, but if you're semi-inclined to getting his custom knives, or you always wanted it, those are actually a good value, because I think those retail prices are somewhere upwards of $700. I don't know if you're maybe down the line you'd resell it and make a profit, but it's there for the moment now. So check it out, and we'll see you guys on this channel later, and we'll do some more growing stuff. So until then, happy growing, everyone.